Another
What's up?
Wi-Fi podcast. It looks cold there in California. You got your puffer on.
Yeah, it's like 75 degrees. It's freezing here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course.
No, it's like maybe high 40s, 50s, somewhere around there.
We were just talking. I got the Apple Watch Ultra. Pretty sweet.
Yeah,
The best thing so far is a 4-day battery life. Like you don't have
4 day
to. Yeah,
battery.
you don't have
That's
to. Yeah,
nice.
I'll wear it all day, and like it'll be only down like 20% maybe.
Yeah,
Crazy.
huh?
It is.
That's
It
pretty
is way
good.
bigger. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try this. Yeah, yours. You need one of
You
these,
see
man.
that, folks?
You
This just happened.
you need an upgrade. If it
Yeah,
still works. That's crazy that the screen's still working.
okay.
Just
Well,
yeah,
it just started really coming off
just get
like
some
recently.
Gorilla Glue and that's crazy it still works. But yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna try scuba diving with this, see if it holds up.
Yeah,
The screen doesn't pop off. All right, so a lot of stuff to talk about today. The ESG510s have been shipping, and
yeah,
customers are buying them like crazy. Like I can't keep them in stock.
yeah. That's awesome.
They just started shipping. Actually, I think I'm gonna get the first shipment on Monday. I'm gonna have to ship most of them out already. Um,
Yeah,
but if anyone wants one, let me know. We'll send you out a quote and we'll get one out to you as soon as possible.
yeah. You already placed another order for him
Yeah, I already placed the second order. We knew people wanted
for
the
stock.
solution.
For stock this
Yeah, for
time.
stock. Yeah. We know people wanted this solution, but there's been a lot of interest in it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, it's really nice to be able to see the whole thing. The whole network.
yeah.
From one screen, like you can look at everything.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said in in my promotional text, like it's an end-to-end solution. Like really is. Like so, now you have the gateway, the switch, the access point,
Yeah.
all managed in the cloud. You can do everything from off-site. It really makes it great. Like any of these little system integrators. And the other good thing is, you could that ESG510 has a PoE port, so you could plug the AP right into it without even a switch on a small
Yeah, but
site.
get the switch.
Yeah, get a switch too, of course, but or get lots of switches. But if you have a small office, that's like a self-contained solution because it has the
Yeah.
PoE in the gateway. Plug the AP in. There's only one power plug needed, right?
Yeah.
And then if you had
I'm
the
running. I'm actually running that setup at my house. I have a Wi-Fi 6E AP connected to that particular port. It's powering it up.
yeah.
So I mean, I mean, that could go into so many different deployments. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's sweet the way it's so integrated now. It's for troubleshooting purposes. I mean, you can see everything at once, and to do VLANs
Yeah.
is really easy now. Like you can easily do VLANs, whereas before you're trying to work with two different vendors and make sure they're compatible. And
Yeah, and that's a big. We had this discussion, not you and I, but we had an internal discussion about that. Like, you know, there's a lot of times, and we talked about this before on this podcast. Like we'll get stuck on the phone with somebody because they're working with a third, another vendor on the
right,
gateway, and they don't have it configured properly, and we're kind of just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. And because they want to keep us on the phone because we're the only ones who will stay on the phone with them.
because they want the entire solution to work,
Yeah,
and until the whole thing works, it's the Wi-Fi's fault that's not working.
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
Wi-Fi's not working. So, yeah, but and you have absolutely no idea how to configure VLANs on that gateway that they're working with, right? That
well,
and
we've learned over
yeah,
time how to
like
configure.
we could know, but it could be something new. And another thing, we've been calling it the gateway. It's actually a router. Like so,
Yeah,
let's also
call
call
it
it a
what it
router.
is.
Yeah, it is a router. So anyone that is confused by the security gateway term, this is a router. You can use it on any type of internet connection. You can use it as your main router
It
right
has
after.
NAT.
Yeah, as a NAT
Right?
router right after your ISP's cable modem, your own cable modem, your DSL device, anything that has an Ethernet port. You can use it as the main router. If you have a combined cable modem router device, you can put this in back of it as
Yeah,
as which mode is that? That's pass through mode.
Oh, bridge mode.
Bridge
Yeah.
mode. Okay, so yeah, if you
Or yeah, pass through. You're right.
pass through.
It's pass through.
So if you can't if you even if you don't have access to that modem router combo from your ISP, or you don't know the password, you can't get into it, you can still put this in back of that, put it in pass through mode, and then you
Yeah.
can manage security from that device. You can you can still do VLANs and things like that.
Yeah. Yep. For sure. I mean, I have that set up at my house. Like I can turn my modem into like a bridge and then use the ESG as my primary router. And I haven't done that yet because you and I were testing site to site VPN. So
Yeah.
I wanted to test that behind a natted, double natted basically.
Right, and that
And
does work. That works fine.
That it works actually really well. I just had to turn on auto traversal, right? And it was totally good.
Yep, for sure. So
And we'll talk about that next week on a live webinar. You and I will talk about that.
yeah, we're gonna set up site to site VPN live on that webinar, so you'll see exactly how easy it is, how quick it is.
Yeah, I'll probably set it up on my side only though, because that's your active
Yeah, it
network,
is my
right?
gateway.
So-
Don't bring my gateway down because nothing's gonna work. Can't get any work done. All right, so that's the ESG510. They're shipping now. Let me know. It can be used. If you don't have a Genius equipment, maybe you have Ruckus equipment. You can use that as well. You can use it with any type of APs and switches. It's a standard gateway. You manage it in the Genius Cloud, of course.
Standard router.
Standard router gateway. Speaking of Ruckus, they're starting to have inventory. I know you don't like this, but they
didn't say anything, man.
yeah. So we're starting to get inventory in. If you have any projects, R650, R350, H550 wall plates, I'm seeing them all start to come in. I know there's a lot of projects that are backlogged. We love Ruckus, and Brian doesn't love them. I love Ruckus. Brian does not.
Ruckus is they're really they offer really good a solution, a really good solution.
Yeah, I mean, we sell at Keenan Systems, we sell like 50-50. We try to do 50-50. But yeah, they're starting to come in. So anyone has any Ruckus projects, let me know. I'll see if I can match up with something that's available in stock. And then we wanted to talk about the fiber switch, the ECS5512F.
Yes,
That's the model, right?
it's a 12-port SFP plus
Yeah.
ports,
Yeah.
and it's half rack mountable, so you can put in 12, and then you can easily scale up or expand to 24 on the same rack.
Yeah.
And all the mounting brackets come in the box.
Yeah.
So if you're doing like a half rack mount, that's fine. And if you buy two, you have the ability to combine the two.
Yeah, it's really nice. So they can, you have both sets of ears, so that you can put two of them together and fit one rack, or the long ears to put one in a single rack slot.
Yeah. And this is for you to aggregate, all your switches to that one switch.
Yep. So
I think it's 240 gig switching capacity, I think.
Yep. So instead of before this, at least with the Ingenious switches, I know some people were buying like the 8-port multi-gig just because it has the 4 SFP plus ports, and we're using that to aggregate. But now we have another solution where you can do an all fiber aggregate switch.
Yeah, it's super clean, nice.
Yeah.
I have one on my desk.
And those are in stock. Yeah, I have those in stock today. If anybody wants them, I'll send out a quote. I'll put a link to those below also, so you can check them out. All right, so you want to talk about one other thing? What was that?
Oh yeah. Yesterday, we have we have 2 new features built in cloud. They're pro features, but they're really important. One of those is, and I think we talked about this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is carrier class Wi-Fi calling.
Wi-Fi calling. Yeah, we were starting to test that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we talked about it. We actually tested it in a MDU space, and it works really, really well. You're basically, when you're using your phone, you can set parameters up in the cloud for the carrier, like AT&T's gateway.
Right.
And like when I make a call, when I make a Wi-Fi call specifically, you know, you enable Wi-Fi calling on your phone. We used to use like best effort, and you could still use best effort, but this uses actually it prioritizes the voice traffic. But it first sets up a IPsec secure tunnel between the phone, the SIM card, and the carrier's gateway, packet gateway, evolved packet gateway, I think it's called. Data packet. Data.
It's like EIDG or something, right? Is the term
EP?
EP? I don't know what it is.
Packet data gateway.
Yes.
Evolved packet data.
That's it.
Gateway.
That's it. EPDG.
So you can set those parameters up, and it allows you, it prioritizes that traffic. So, you know, as long as your roaming is set up correctly within a building, you know, you can roam and make a call there. It's very seamless. And then if you walk outside of the building, it will automatically switch over to the cellular. It makes it super smooth, whereas like best effort Wi-Fi calling, you actually get it breaks up a little bit. It disconnects and reconnects, and you can hear it. Whereas this is better. Another feature, I know I'm time-wise, is exporting and importing VLANs.
Right.
So if you're doing a lot of VLANs, you have the ability to configure those VLANs, and you can export it out and then later import it into another project. So say, for example, your VLAN setup is fairly simple because you're using the same switches.
Yeah.
You can export that file in a JSON file, and then you can, JSON file, and then you can import that back in to implement it into like as many switches as you want.
And you could probably edit that JSON file too with like the Microsoft Visual Editor or something. Like I do that sometimes too. So so you could edit that file manually if you wanted to. But so you'd export it from the switch on one network. Let's say you're doing like an MDU deployment and they're all set up the same, right? You'd export it and then import it into another network. Maybe you could maybe change like labels on it with the JSON editor or something like that, right? And you know, something like that. So that's a great feature. I know we have a lot of guys doing like the same sort of install. I can think of a few that are doing these installs every week. That may be
and they just want to mirror the configuration to another to another install, and then if it's a little bit different, they can make those modifications. But,
right. Nice.
Yeah, it's a really good feature. That, like I said, that came out yesterday, I think.
Yep. Okay. Sounds good. It's nice that they keep adding features to the cloud. So, in next week we're gonna talk about some Mac filtering, maybe some other things too, right? So, all right. Remember to like and subscribe. Post questions in the comments, and we'll be back next week.